Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss the modern Indian history and we are starting from the advent of Europeans in India. Okay, so let's start. First of all, let us see that what is the location of Europe and what is the location of India and Eastern in this country. So this is the Europe. Okay, this is Europe and this is the East India's country. So I would like to highlight this, that how European power came to in India, from which part of the world. So, okay, so this is the Europe. We will see further in upcoming slides that how from where specifically these countries came to India and by what route. So this is Europe, this is India, and India and this part of the world at that point of time was referred as East Indies. East Indies mainly considered as covered countries like Indonesia, Java, Sumatra. Okay, so this is the East Indies part of the world. So I think this is clear. So let's move towards the European penetration in the world. First country which came to India is Portuguese. So I would like to start with the story that why Portuguese came to India. So this is the map also. See, this is the map. We first of all we should know why these countries, why the adventurers or merchants of these countries coming to India or East Indies. They were coming mainly for trade. Okay, they were coming mainly for trade. Why trade? So you can ask that was trade started from 1500 itself, right? Or this time itself? No, this is not true. Actually, the trade between India and Europe or was in taking place from ancient time also, and the trade was taking place from this route, means land route, land and you can see sea, then land, sea, and then land. This route actually old route, traditional route. But the problem was this route was covered by Arabians and Venice and Geneva people. Okay, they used to capture this route, and when Portuguese or some other European countries, West European countries, wanted to do the trade with the India, so they were charging high tax, because of which it was not possible to do a profitable trade. So they wanted to search alternate route for trade. They means Portuguese and other West European countries. And in this regard, the ruler of the countries were helping the merchants, means they were sponsoring their merchants and adventurers to find the alternate route. Spain was the first country where Columbus started his journey. Okay, and he discovered America. He actually started to discover India itself. India means this part of the world, but he accidentally eventually discovered America. Fine. So then who discovered the sea route to India? And the answer of this question is Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a gentleman supported by King Emmanuel at that point of time, who started his journey with 4 ships laden with food and map basically. Okay, and he reached India in May 1498. Okay, so from Portugal he came through this route, here to here, India. Okay, India, here, understand, Africa. Okay, so this route was known as Cape of Good Hope. So from Cape of Good Hope, Vasco da Gama reached to India, and in India he reached to coast of Kerala. Coast of Kerala. Okay, no, and Calicut actually, coast of Calicut. Kerala present day. Calicut is known as Kazikode at present time. Okay, so this is the story. And at Kazikode, the ruler who was doing the rule was Jamorin. Jamorin was the local ruler at that point of time. Okay, and he welcomed Vasco da Gama a lot. He welcomed him. He received his very warmly. Because why? Because at that point of time there was uh, Arabs were doing the trade in Jamori in Calicut, and Jamorin thought that he got another option to do the trade with another foreign partner, and he became very happy. But his expectation was belied very soon when it was when the Portuguese started creating a lot of trouble. Fine. So, as he was happy, he permitted trade in spices and set up factory on the coast. He permitted, who Zamorin permitted to Portuguese. Then by 1503, they Portuguese established their trading center at Cochin, Calicut, and Connaught. Reason was that they found the territory now, okay, where they can do the trade. Now they were just expanding their trade, and for that purpose they sent their first viceroy in 1505, known as D. Almeida. They sent D. Almeida in 1505's first viceroy, and his task, he was assigned two tasks. First task, as I told you, that before this route, the trade route was captured by Arabs, so he wanted to eliminate Arabs first, and second, establish trade in India. Okay, this was his task. Whose task? Deal Media, first viceroy of the Portugal. Then after that, Albuquerque in 1509 to 1515, he came to India as a second viceroy. Okay, and he is believed that second viceroy, and he is believed as the establisher of real power of Portuguese in India. Okay, and he conquered Goa in 1510 and created a fort at Cochin. Then they were just doing their trade. Okay, they were Diu and Basin in 1534 and 1538. Okay, and finally they were doing trade in India. They were from 1498 till 1600, you will see, till 1600, around when the British East India came. They were doing their trade, and they were the sole European country in the India who was doing trade. But how their influence got decreased, we have to see that also. And the reason that their influence got decreased is that the English, French, and Holland, other European power, they were not as good as Portuguese during 15th century, late 15th century. And what was the speciality of Portuguese? Their naval supremacy. But this was not the case in with English, French, and Holland. They tried at that point of time also. They tried during 15th century also, but they failed. They tried till more than 15 years, from 1500 to 1550 they tried. But meanwhile they also started getting strength in sea and shipbuilding activities. So by 1600, by end of 15th century, they got so much strength and power, commercial and naval power, that they started giving Portuguese a fight, and they also started traveling through that sea route which Portuguese established. And also another reason was, in 1580 Portuguese had become Spanish dependency. Okay, so Portuguese became Spanish dependency, and in 1588 English defeated Spanish fleet called Armada. So you can see here that how English are gaining more power, and how they are defeating Portuguese and Spain, who came earlier and who were ahead in the race of world trade at that point of time. But another reason apart from this was that Portuguese merchants who were doing trade in other part of the world were not protected well by their country, and the in Portuguese, the effect of nobles were more, and merchants were not prospering and not protected well. So this was the also reason of decreasing influence of Portuguese in India. And finally, you will see that how English defeated Portuguese naval squadron at Soali near Surat in 1612 and again in 1614. So we are just discussing that how Portuguese came and what happened to them in India. We will discuss in detail about East India Company, British East India Company. This is just a small reference of Portuguese and what happened to them in India. Okay, this is the area where Portuguese established their trading center. So you can see all the trading center are on the coast of the country of the India. Why? Because of their naval supremacy, and nobody was able to give a proper fight to them because of their naval supremacy. Next country, next European power which came to India is Dutch East India Company. So you can see they established on 20th March 1602. So around 100 years gap. 100 years gap. Okay. So what was the reason why Dutch were not came here? What they were doing in these 100 years? What is the reason that they came 10 years back? So the reason was, I am telling you, the Dutch were doing, they were doing trade, purchasing the product which Portuguese brought from India. The Dutch were purchasing that product and they were selling this product to Northern Europe. So basically you can understand that the trade which is taking place right now, we in India import many things from China and other countries, and then we sell to our local people. Same way, whatever things which Portuguese were taking from uh, India, they were selling to Dutch, and Dutch were selling to Northern European countries, basically spice. And why spice was demanded at that point of time? The reason was uh, Europe is a cold country, and here there they need to preserve meats, and as you can see, you know that spices are great, act as a great preserver. Okay, so this is the reason why spice was very popular there, and why it was high in demand. And Dutch were doing trade of by purchasing the spices from Portuguese, and they were selling it to other northern countries. But what happened there, in mid of the 15th century, that Spain and Portuguese got merged. Okay, and Spain also made Dutch his colony, attempted to make his colony. So what happened, that now the option of purchasing the things from Portuguese eliminated for Dutch. So they started finding alternate route for doing trade, and as Cape of Good Hope was already discovered by Portuguese, so they in 1602 they started coming to East Indies country. Okay, so and their main interest was spice trade of Indonesia. They were not interested in India, but to establish their hold in Indonesia, they defeated English also. English wanted to establish their attempt in Indonesia, but Dutch defeated them in 1623. So they were having their trade in Indonesia, but at the same point of time, they opened their factories at Pulicat, which is in Andhra Pradesh, Kambe, Surat, which is in Gujarat, Agra, okay, UP, Hariyarpur in Odisha, Patna, in Bihar, Dhaka in West Bengal, Kasim Bazar in West Bengal, Chinsura is also West Bengal, Nagapattinam in Madras. You can remember these names. Sometimes these can be asked in examination. Okay, so what happened to Dutch further in India? The Dutch got stiff competition with English and Portuguese in India. Also, there was intermittent war between English and Dutch in 1654 to 1667. They were having fight with English in English with Dutch in 1654 and 1667, and finally British defeated Dutch in Battle of Bedara in 1759. So this is the Dutch location of the Dutch. I told you Europe, this is the Europe, we discussed in the map. This is Europe, and this Western Europe, Portugal, and this is Netherlands. Today it is known as Netherlands. Fine. Next most important country which came to India, most important European power which came to India is known as East India Company, the English East India Company. So first of all, let's discuss how they came to India. Okay, so as I explained you before also, English were trying from 15th century itself, but they were not as strong as Portuguese and Spain. They were not, their naval power was not as strong as Portuguese and Spain, but slowly they gathered strength, and because of their strength, some merchants form an association, and in 1599 1599 to carry trade with East. Okay, and for that they went to their Queen Elizabeth for taking the permission, and the permission given by Queen Elizabeth is known as royal charter, and the permission was given for 15 years, and the date on which permission was given is 31st December 1600. So you can say this is the date when British East India Company was formed, and they renamed this company as English East India Company. Okay, so here till here it is all clear that how British East India Company was formed. Then what happened? They came to India around 1604, and the start of English East India Company was very gentle and very humble. First of all, a voyage was sent under Captain Hawkins, and Captain Hawkins went to court of Jahangir in 1608 to take the permission to do the trade in India. Okay, and again, as I told you in the case of Portugal, that Jamburin became happy that one another option is coming to do the trade, and they will be benefited. Same way Jahangir also became happy that the trade will be benefited. Why they will be benefited? Because the product of the country are being purchased by someone, and they were giving money to Indians or Mughals at that point of time. So it was a good decision to give permission to do the trade. But the problem was at that point of time Portuguese were also present. So what they were doing, they were not allowing Mughal to give full permission to English to do the trade. They were not allowing. So finally, with that permission, whatever they have, they set their warehouse in British East India, set their warehouse at Surat and Masulipattam by 1613. So I think everything is clear till now. Meanwhile, what happened? The policy of Britisher at that point of time was, their intention was to do the trade, it is clear, but they also wanted to establish supremacy and over trade. Okay, they didn't want that any other power of the Europe should be there to do the trade. So their first target was to remove other European powers. So what are the other European powers present at that point of time? Portugal and Dutch. French are not present at that point of time. So to gain the supremacy, they defeated Portuguese naval squadron at Swali near Surat in 1612 and 1614. This gave hope to Mughals. Mughals were very annoyed and very frustrated by Portugal. They became also as Portuguese were having their dominance over Persian Gulf and Red Sea area, so they were not allowing our trade to take place without any hindrance. They were creating a lot of hindrance. So Jahangir became happy that he got one other option who can defeat Portuguese, and Portuguese can go away. British East India Company wanted to have more permission, to do the trade. Initially he got permission to do trade on the west coast itself, but they wanted to do trade, they wanted to have more concession. So for that purpose another voyage was sent under Sir Thomas Roe in 1615, and he again went to Jahangir's court. Jahangir provided him more relaxation, free trade and exemption, and in this, and now this time he told Jahangir told to do trade in all Mughal area. So from west coast to all Mughal dominated or Mughal ruled area, Jahangir gave. Now Thomas Roe was very intelligent. When he came, I am telling you the story. When he came to India, he brought a lot of European style painting, and Jahangir was a painter. On most of the time he used to do the painting, and he liked it a lot. And he wrote a letter to British Empire also, that I felt very happy that Jahangir came, Thomas Roe came here, and on praise of Thomas Roe he wrote a letter also. So the point is that Jahangir became happy. Okay, so East India Company started creating their influence, and in that direction they created, in 1639 they got lease around Madras, where St. Fort George was created. Okay, St. Fort George was created around Madras. Further, in 1651, Nawab of Bengal Sujauddin grants company the right to trade after paying duty. So you can see that where they started, first in Surat, then they established in Pattanam, got further trade, they came to Madras. So Surat to Pattanam to Madras. Why they started Madras? Understand this. It is very logical. First of all, they were trader, and they were not as strong as they became later. So and they were also having other European powers, other European countries who were fighting with them. So what happened, that their first move was to eliminate European countries. So they, as I told you, that they defeated Portuguese in 1612 and 1614. Then they started from Madras. Why? Because their Mughal power was not as strong. Okay, not as strong, so they could have got the permission easily. And now they, before 1639, in 1633 they established their factory in Odisha also. Okay, so they are moving slowly. First they are moving to eastern coast. Okay, and why not in western coast? You could have asked this, because at that point of time, as Mughal was strong, and also later Maratha became strong. We will see later. So in 1651 they got the permission from Bengal of Nawab of Bengal known as Sujauddin, to do the trade. And why everyone is giving permission to do the trade? Because it is always beneficial. There is someone who is willing to buy your product. So why would you not give the permission? By no means they will be able to know that these small trading company are going to give them stiff competition, and they even going to eliminate them from their own country. Not own country, but the country which they were ruling since long time. Fine. So we have seen that since in 1651 they got the permission to do the trade in Bengal also. Finally, I told you that they have to eliminate Portuguese. Okay, so first they defeated Portuguese, and also Portuguese were becoming weak till after coming to British East India Company. Why? I gave the reason that their merchants were not protected, they were dependent in growth, though no no advancement, no or little advancement, no की जगह little advancement, okay, in science, tech, science tech. So because of all these reasons, Europeans, Portuguese were becoming weak, and East India Company, British East India Company was giving them tough fight. So they decided to surrender, and also 1661 they even established matrimonial alliance with British. What happened? Portuguese Princess Catherine of Braganza and Prince Charles II of Britain got married, and Portuguese were having control of Bombay, which was transferred to British East India Company in 1668. Sorry, this is not the case. Here in this marriage, Portuguese gave what they gave Bombay to British Empire as a gift in dowry. ठीक है, they gave gift in 1661. In 1668 British East India Company got this territory Bombay from British Empire in the lease of £10 annually. Okay, on rent of £10 annually. So this is the story, and here I would like to clear one thing, that East India Company, British East India Company and British Empire, both are different entity. Okay, it is a private company, and this is whole empire. British East India Company got the permission from British Empire to do the trade. Okay, so understand this, and slowly how British Empire or Parliament got hold of British East India Company, we will see it later. Fine. So we have seen that how in 1668 Bombay was transferred to British East India Company. In 1691, royal farman issued by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb also given them the permission to do the trade. And in 1698, what happened? They three villages, that is Govindpur, Sutanati and Kalikatta, which is now known as Calcutta. Okay, accord and lease, and St. Fort William was constructed. Fine. And in 1770, royal firman from Emperor Farooq Seer was given, and this royal firman became the cause of conflict. We will see how this led to Battle of Plassey, and in this firman they were given trade concession and also permission of minting of their own coins. Okay, so this is the kind of permission which was given by Farooq Seer in 1770. I would like to inform you that by 1707 Aurangzeb died, and this caused weakness of Mughal Empire slowly. So they got the opportunity, British got the opportunity to put their demand very thoroughly or very dominantly. So this is the story till now. Now next next European power which we are going to discuss is French East India Company. Fine. So we have discussed Portugal, Dutch, English, and this is the order of their coming to India. 1498, Dutch 1602, English 1604. Okay, and now French in 1664. Okay, so what is the reason? We have seen the reason why it 100 years time was taken, because Dutch, English were not as powerful as Portuguese. in the case of naval and shipbuilding. Okay, but France also became powerful around 1600. So what happened that he was not she was not able to come to India in this point of time, and why it took 60 years? Answer is, they French East India Company tried to come to India at that point itself in 1604, but they were not successful. One ship started, but the ship never reached India, and still it is not known that where it went. So it means it missed, or it might have happened that all the sailor of the ship might have died. So we can see that the French were not uh, late, matlab date wise they are late, but it doesn't mean that they woke up late, right? They knew that there is a country, there is an area where profitable trade can be done. So finally in 1664, the formation of French East India Company by Louis XIV finance minister Colbert was done, and they established their first factory at Surat, second at Musalipattam in 1669, third and then in 1673 Pondicherry, and in 1692 Chandarnagar. There started developing rivalry between British and French. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. एक मयान में दो तलवारें नहीं रह सकती. Okay, these are the two European power, and two European powers means, and both wanted to do the trade at the same time. So definitely one wants to eliminate other. In the present time, why this can't be happen? Because there is some authority. People countries sign treaties, like World Trade Organization kind of organization is there, who lay rules, which lays rules and protocols to do fair and equitable trade. But at that point of time this was not the case. The only thing which was possible was war. Okay, जिसकी लाठी उसकी भैंस, जिसके पास ताकत थी वही रूल करता था. This was the case. So rivalry started between British and French. British came 1604, French came in 1664. Okay, French started doing the trade. So eventually British did not like it, right? They wanted to establish their own monopoly. So this was the reason of rivalry between British and trade. In 1752, Lord Dupleix becomes the governor of Pondicherry. Lord Dupleix becomes the governor of Pondicherry. And after becoming his governor, he changed the objective from commercial motive to imperial expansion. Dupleix was the leader, and I would like to add one more point, that he is the first who started. Dupleix was the first person who started intervening internal affair of the country, which Britishers mastered later, right? First he started to intervene, which British East India Company mastered later, and with the idea of divide and rule, they became able to rule the whole country, whole India. So Dupleix was the first, and before that the intention of French was not to do the trade, not to have imperial expansion. They just wanted to do the trade. Okay, finally French started the strategy of interfering in internal affairs of Indian states to obtain political mileage. I will tell you later in Carnatic War, and this gave the new chapter of Anglo-French rivalry, which we will see in the Carnatic War. In nutshell, what we have seen: European advent in India. So who came first? Portuguese in 1498. One thing, they came before Mughal also. When did Mughal come then? Mughal came in 1526. Okay, and one more thing, Portuguese were first to come, and last to leave the India? When did they left? In 1961. This is another story I will tell you later. Okay, came in 1498, left in 1961. Fine. After Portugal, who came? Dutch. Dutch came. Main interest was Indonesia, not India. But still they were having their trading post. We have seen where trading post was there. Finally, in Battle of Bidara, 1759, British defeated Dutch and they went back. Then after Dutch, who came? English East India Company. When? In 1604. Okay. In 1604. Group of merchants came. And the story goes on. We will discuss about them in detail, that how first they eliminated whom? Eliminated other European countries like Portugal, Dutch. Eliminated not at that exact point of time, but they started weakening them, and then they did interference with Indian ruler. Fine. So this is, we will discuss in detail. And last came French East India Company. When? In 1664. Why they were late? I told you that they were not late. The thing was that they were not able to reach, but they started with Dutch and East India Company itself. Okay. Then they main was a Duplay. Okay. After coming him, commercial to imperial expansion. Fine. And then finally we will see that how French English rivalry led to Carnatic War. Okay, so this is all about European advent in India, and in next video I will discuss Carnatic War in detail. Thank you very much for watching this video.